Hello and welcome back to Dragon Quest Wall Tutorials. I am GZ, and in this video, I want to go over the new weapon. So that is going to be the Aqua Dragon Dagger. So you can see this particular weapon right over here on this particular character. So pretty much I was able to acquire this weapon by using mileage points, and after using it in some key battles, I'm glad that I actually have it in my arsenal. So usually when a weapon is released at the same time as new content, especially with enemies, the new weapon is supposed to be like the weapon or the new weapon to use against those enemies. So I was able to see that with the Aqua Dragon Dagger being used against the Silverinus special field monster. But besides that, this weapon is going to have some nice debuffs that can be used in regular field battles or in boss battles that would make the fight go a bit smoother. So now I want to actually go ahead into breaking this down. So pretty much the attack power here is going to be at 179, and then in terms of the leveling, as you level up the actual weapon with the strengthening stones, at level 1 you're going to actually have +5 attack power. If this is equipped on a demon, you're going to have also at level 1, plus 10 to your max HP if this is on a ninja. Then also in terms of level 1, you're going to have plus 5% to dual wielding weapon and physical technique damage. Again, this is going to be if you have a character that is able to dual wield, in this case going to be on a demon. Then over here in terms of other abilities here, you're going to get, or bonuses I should say, at level 35 you're going to get plus 5% damage to plants. You're going to have plus 5% damage to machines at level 40, and normally at level 45 you have plus 12 attack power if you have expertise with this particular weapon. So yeah, so this is something that's going to be quite good, and I actually now want to go ahead and show this to you in a battle. Okay, so now that we're in a battle, you're actually going to see a couple of things here. So these are going to be the sudden activation abilities of the Aqua Dragon Dagger. So here you can see that all the enemies are going to be debuffed with weaken or loss of fighting spirit level 2. So that is going to be from the sudden activation ability called Kairyu no Shibban, which is Sea Dragon's Judgment. It's going to cost 2% of your max MP, and at the start of the battle, the wielder consumes 2% of their MP for a rare chance to debuff all enemies with loss of fighting spirit level 2. If a pirate is equipped with this weapon, all enemies will be debuffed with loss of fighting spirit level 2. So in this case, this is going to be a rare chance, not rare chance, but a chance of this happening. So actually this is going to be the second battle that I actually tried to go into in order to activate this particular ability. But in the first battle, this ability did not actually occur. Then besides that, over here, you're going to see a buff on my demon on the right. So that is going to be Hichuno Gukui, which is the secret of focus. So this is going to cost 8 MP, and what it does is from the start of the battle, the weapon and physical technique attacks of the wielder cannot be blocked or evaded by the enemy, so that is going to last for 4 turns. So now I want to go over the first actual attack ability for this particular weapon. So here, going to go over the first attack ability, which is going to be one we actually have seen before on a couple of weapons. It's going to be called Chaos Edge. So with Chaos Edge, it's going to cost 9 MP, and with a Chaotic Sword technique, this does 175 weapon damage to one enemy and has a chance to cause confusion. So I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to use it on the Shield Kozo right over here. So in this case, I was able to confuse the Shield Kozo. So next, I want to go over the next ability. Okay, so next that I'm going to have is going to be right over here. This is going to be called Hard Luck Rush. So this is going to cost 37 MP. So what this does is that it does 250% weapon damage to one enemy 3 times and gives the enemy the Misfortune Weaken buff. So with this debuff active, it increases the success rate of the enemy being weakened by 1.5 times. So we have seen the Misfortune debuff before. In that case, it was for weapon and physical technique damage, or lowered by that particular lowered for that particular enemy. So this is going to be for weakened. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to use it on this Magmadon. So over here on the Magmadon, you can actually see that it actually does have the Misfortune debuff on. So that's going to actually have increase the chances that it will actually have be weakened in this particular battle. So I want to go over the next ability. So the next ability here is going to be right over here. This is going to be called Judge Paralyze. So with Judge Paralyze, this is going to cost 45 MP. What it does is with a rare chance for a direct hit, this does 580% weapon damage to all enemies with a chance to inflict paralysis. Enemies that are already paralyzed will have 100% weapon damage done toward them. So going to be like this. So in this case, I did not get paralysis on any of the enemies. So here I actually want to go ahead and try that again. So in this case, over the enemy on the left, so that is going to be that particular pot enemy is actually now paralyzed. So here what I want to do is actually try again Judge Paralyze just to see the amount of damage that I will be able to do on the enemy on the left. So it should be higher than before. Yes, so higher than before, and also the Magmalon is now paralyzed. Okay, so now what I want to do is actually go over the final ability of this particular weapon. So it's going to be right over here. This is going to be Mar de Dragon, which is pretty much translated as the Sea Dragon. So this is going to cost 59 MP. What it does 550% Boggy or Zaba weapon damage to all characters, plus 50% plus 50 damage to metal enemies, with a rare chance to inflict paralysis. The faster the wielder takes their action, increases the success rate of inflicting the weaken debuff. So this is going to be right this. Okay, so that was the Aqua Dragon Dagger's abilities. So pretty much in terms of, let's say, sudden activation abilities, so having enemies weakened from the beginning of the battle can be or have their loss of fighting spirit at the beginning of the battle can be pretty beneficial. It actually lowers the amount of damage they actually do, though the debuff will only last for 1 turn, which I guess is fair, but having a wielder not be able to miss physical attacks for 4 turns can make a huge difference down the line in a long drawn out battle. So that's actually quite good. So pretty much this is very similar to effects of other weapons that we have seen before that actually have been pretty useful in having the character not being able to miss. So in regards to regular field battles, This weapon can prove to be quite useful, especially if the wielder is the first to take their action in battle, as they can paralyze all enemies and you would not have to worry about enemy attacks for a couple of rounds. So the weapon also can do some pretty good damage if the right souls are equipped on the character, and can do even more damage if a demon who is dual wielding. So like I did in this video, so you actually did see some pretty good damage. And of course, this would be the most effective on enemies that are weak to the Boggy and Zaba attributes. So definitely, if you have enemies like that, that should actually work. In terms of a boss battle, which I haven't tried yet, but I feel like this weapon lacks a true ability that can do some serious damage to just one enemy. But for example, if the boss fight you happen to be in has multiple enemies, then this can prove to be quite useful, again with the ability to paralyze enemies. But kind of a redeeming factor about the weapon is does have an ability that does damage to metal enemies, which makes it a good weapon to use with the levelly party, especially if you lack weapons that don't do major damage to metal type enemies, or don't have any weapons in your inventory that do metal damage to enemies, or really good damage to metal type enemies. You do have some lower level weapons that do so, like maybe just 4 damage, but if you're comparing that to a higher level metal enemy, that's not going to do a whole lot. So pretty much overall, I do think that the Aqua Dragon Dagger is a pretty good weapon, but I don't see myself using it on my standard leveling team unless I'm going to be fighting the special monster Silverinus on the field. I originally swapped this weapon with the Claw of the Dragon Queen, and I honestly prefer the Claw of the Dragon Queen since it can do it can do more damage depending on the type of enemy, and also do more damage to metal type enemies. But on a demon, on a demon, that probably would change things a little bit. Um, as you do have can have multiple attacks, especially if you're going to be dual wielding. But the one reason why I do actually prefer Claw of the Dragon Queen is that it has the ability to blow enemies out of the battle, which is actually going to be very useful. So, besides that, this won't be the last time you will see this weapon, the Aqua Dragon Dagger. I will be using it in my Hokura Ruler battle against the Dark Modified Proto Killer, and I will be using it to fight against the Silverinus, and hopefully get to show you its S-grade soul. So please stay tuned for that. But with that said, I'm going to go ahead and end this video here. So thank you for watching. If you enjoyed the video, please leave a like. If you'd like to see more, please subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video.